Have you ever wondered about the Christmas star that guided the wise men to the manger? The Star of Bethlehem is steeped in theory and legend, including being a supernova explosion, a comet, and a conjunction of Jupiter, Regulus, and Venus. Jupiter in Hebrew means righteousness, Regulus is Latin for little king, and Venus is the symbol of love and birth. Hence, the combination of these objects close to the sky could be interpreted as the birth of the King of Kings. A bit of Christmas trivia there as we welcome you to Kaleidoscope with me, Savithri Rodrigo. Up ahead, blah 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 on climate action, getting women on board, vacationing safely, and prompting a gourmet Christmas, plus lots and lots more.
Hold your breath in for a moment. Find your calm. This is the Green Embassy Homagama. Invest just 3 million rupees to reserve 0710 777 Prime Lands Residencies PLC.
It's our quick roundup of the week on Prime Group Kaleidoscope Snapshot. Sri Lanka's apparel exports are targeting $8 billion in exports by 2025. The LOLC Group's Browns Investments Limited invests $114 million in the port city. Advocata's Bath Curry indicator shows food prices in Sri Lanka hitting the highest in November since 2019, rising 44%. Internet use in Sri Lanka during the pandemic has grown but remains yet below peers such as Nigeria and India. A mountain climber who found a trove of precious stones on France's Mont Blanc has been allowed to keep half of the haul of a total value of nearly $170,000. Remember all those escapades in the movie Home Alone? You may just have that experience for only $25 a night for just one hijinks-filled night. Now don't forget, Christmas is around the corner, and if you subscribe or follow us, you may just win some super gifts from Santa. Welcome to our news capsule. The Women Corporate Directors Foundation, the largest organization of women corporate board members globally, launched its first local chapter in Sri Lanka with the support of the IFC and its Women in Work program. I caught up with Program Manager of the IFC's Women in Work program, Sarah Twigg, and asked her what the idea behind establishing this chapter was.
There is, however, a strong business case for increasing gender diversity on boards and in senior management. This has been demonstrated by IFC's research among the top 30 listed companies, where we found that those with higher gender diversity on their boards performed better on a range of financial metrics. To promote boardroom diversity, IFC, through our Women in Work partnership with the Government of Australia, have supported the launch of the Sri Lanka chapter of the Global Women Corporate Directors Forum, with 16 founding members from across multiple industries. The Women Corporate Directors Forum is the largest organisation of women corporate board directors globally. This is a significant step in raising the profile of the women board directors who help create value for Sri Lankan businesses. It creates a platform for women board members to learn from their global peers and helps the country increase the pipeline of aspiring and qualified female board members.
And news from the Colombo stock market. This week, the all share price index moved up by a healthy 2.1%, while the average daily turnover was 6.19 billion rupees. With investors no longer expecting the Omicron coronavirus variant to derail economic growth, WTI oil firmed up, edging towards $73 per barrel. Gold prices stabilized at around $1,787 per ounce as the US dollar lost upward momentum. Sri Lanka's vibrant tourism industry has opened its doors, and while they need your support, don't forget you need that bit of R&R too. But while you go a-tripping, remember, safety is a priority. I checked in with Chris Quines, CEO of Fox Resorts, which has properties in Jaffna and Kandy, for the must-dos when we set out.
Of course, you need to get yourself vaccinated, including your booster shots, so that you are safe and safe for the people around you. It is important to stay in boutique properties that are not too big so that you are not exposed to too many people. That is something that you should look at when you choose a hotel. Travel by private transport, because then you minimize yourself and your contact with outsiders. Take enough masks, your medicines, your sanitizers, so that you have enough for your journey. Support the local vendors by souvenirs. However, make sure you have another bag in your vehicle that you can put them in that until you get home and sanitize your hand. In summary, we are saying, don't be paranoid. Please travel. The tourism industry needs it. You need it. Therefore, please travel.
Fleeing the cold winters of Canada and the USA, millions of monarch butterflies made their annual 2,000-kilometer journey to Mexico's 13,000 square hectare monarch sanctuary. A photographer in Berlin has a calendar called Doggy Style, showcasing 12 dogs who work. They are Sam the artist, Bertha who works at a club, Bruno the hustler, and Pan the tarot reading wizard.
Hold your breath in for a moment. Find your calm. This is the Green Embassy, Homagama. Invest just 3 million rupees to reserve 0710 777 Prime Lands Residencies PLC.
World of risks and obstacles, we are there to help you reach your goals. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees. Our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
This is not about some expensive, politically correct green act of bunny hugging or blah blah blah.
Everything Greta Thunberg says is true. It's been a lot of rhetoric and little action, and the UN Secretary General himself said so in his concluding speech at COP26. Yes, we are making progress, but it's so very slow. And this means young people are inheriting a very sick planet on the cusp of extinction. Today on Srilanka Life Let's Talk is environmental scientist, conservationist and environmental educator Zainab Akbar Ali, who is at the Environmental Foundation and works on biodiversity conservation and ecological research. She's also the chairperson of the youth wing of the Wildlife Nature Protection Society. So welcome Zainab, and thank you very much for joining us on Srilanka Life Let's Talk. Like all young people, are you holding your head when you see what's happening to this planet? And do you actually agree with Greta Thunberg's deduction that when it comes to leaders, it's all talk and little is done?
Yes, to a great extent, that's how I think a lot of young people feel. We feel agitated because there's a lot of impassioned rhetoric and statements often made about climate, the state of the planet, that we need to act now, there's no planet B. As she has, I think, famously said, blah, 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 there is just all this talk. And I think one of those frustrations where it lies is that the lack of enforcement when it comes to these climate agreements. We've had these large climate agreements. You've seen the Paris Agreement. Now, hopefully, let's see how it goes with the recent Glasgow Pact. Two things that really stand out to me is one is this, for the first time in the history of the United Nations climate governance and agreements, that they're directly addressing fossil fuels. And calling for the deduction of fossil fuels, because often they have said, oh, we need to reduce carbon emissions, but we do not give the teeth in terms of how we are going to come about that reduction.
So as a young person, what are your key takeaways from COP26?
Initially, the agreement, I think they wanted to use the language, let's phase out. But there was this sense of, from certain parts, from certain governments, that we don't want to phase out, we would rather phase down. But that is also a reflection of the mindset of the international community when it comes to climate governance. Very early on in the conference, we also saw agreement with over 100 countries coming together to bring a halt to deforestation. This would in essence protect over 85% of the world's forests. My concern, and I think the concern of a lot of people when we analyze these things that come out, is that they often say, and these agreements have been made in the past, they have made suggestions of this kind, they've agreed to this, but will they actually commit to this and act through? Where is the action? And I think that is what waits to be seen, what will actually come out of all this.
How can we galvanize youth to take on the mantle to mitigate climate change?
Well, I honestly think youth are already galvanized, and I think the movements you're seeing today, especially you can see what happened with Greta Thunberg. We saw it recently, even in Sri Lanka, inspired by Greta Thunberg and her Fridays for Future climate protests. A group or coalition of youth organizations came together and protested in March here in Colombo, and we had a famous mural that went up. Something I feel very passionate about though is also, I think, education is key. It's important that we educate and people understand, because the science is clear. It is not something to be contested anymore. That is there. And this needs to be effectively communicated so people can understand the state and the current trajectory of the directions we are headed in.
So how do we change what we do at present? Because that's what ultimately impacts our future.
We need to turn back to nature, and the use of nature-based solutions is potentially one avenue to explore. Another area that I think we need to work towards is climate finance and seeing where the money goes, because where the money goes is where we are going to have is a way. Finally, address these solutions. Ultimately, you need finance, and this finance needs to be channeled into the correct avenues. We need to be able to look into the future and not look at short-term goals. Quite often, we look at balance sheets, but we need to look at what will happen in 50 years' time. Because the profits are only going to be seen then, and the losses seen in a more pronounced way at that stage.
Thank you, Zainab, and I do hope something does come out of all our discussions about planet Earth. Time to talk about the fabulous gifts we have for Christmas, only for our subscribers and followers. Tharu Villas is gifting 2-night stay at their fabulous R&Rs. Now, Table by Tharu with its amazing cuisine is ready to serve you this season, whether it's Christmas brunch or Christmas dinner at Table by Tharu or Christmas dinner at home. We're also gifting a fab 1-night stay at Sigiriya Kings Resort with its beautifully unique view of both Sigiriya and Pidurangala. There's dinners from Sri Lanka's iconic 5 stars, the Kingsbury and Shangri-La, vouchers from Harpo's Pizza, Bayleaf and Commons, all renowned for being the best in their space, and hampers from Park Street Gourmet, which you will hear about in a little while, and Rodrigo's with their Santa's Jolly Box filled with sausage meat and cranberry pastries, mince pies and brother. Gift packs for him and her from Healing Island, who have some great gift boxes for the 12 days of Christmas, and our resident bookworm Pereira Hussain is gifting the must-read story of Nihal Jinasena, My Checkered Life. Time to click those subscribe and follow buttons. It's looking and feeling a lot like Christmas here at Park Street Gourmet, in this store full of goodies, all ready for Christmas. What better place to shop than here when you need all those fancy things? So with me is Johan De Silva, who is the head of retail and director of Park Street Gourmet. Johan, I have been looking at your hamper booklet. Very, very impressive. Lots of goodies there. How has Park Street Gourmet been actually preparing for Christmas?
This store, which is over 4 years now, has specialized in corporate hampers and also for hampers which is given as gifts during this season time. But more than anything else, the very important thing is that we permit customers to select their own hampers, and this is something which we have earned a name, and business has been very successful so far in the early part of the season, and we're looking forward to a great season in the weeks ahead.
This amazing hamper from Park Street Gourmet, full of goodies and just the right gift for Christmas, being gifted by Park Street Gourmet to a lucky subscriber or follower of Kaleidoscope with Savithri Rodrigo. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas, and we'll catch you next week. Until then, here's our Kaleidoscope takeaway. Believe in the power of your own voice. I'll go.